What's happening, you guys? I'm Dee, and you are at Divination with Dee. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. And we are going to continue with our spirits. So, let me just say this to make sure that I am very, very clear. I have said it in the past. When you are dealing with spirits, please understand these energies are exactly that. They are energies. And you want to be very aware and cautious of what you are doing, how you are dealing with them. They are nothing to take lightly because you can fuck around and find out. And I don't think that you want to do that. So get to know them, be reverent and respectful when it comes to them, and just know what you are getting into when you happen to deal with them. So we are on the F's. And today's spirit that we are talking about is fairy. Okay? So, let's see what we can, if I can read this. It's so small. Let's see what we can get on these fairies. So, fairy, it says the word. The word fairy has become a catch-all for all kinds of tenuously related spirits. In general, what they share in common are associations with wild nature and an interest in human life cycles, especially birth. Fairy is also the standard word used to translate amorphous, volatile, sexy nature spirits from around the world, especially if they're female, because we all know about Tinkerbell. She's, Peter Pan's little fairy, and she's female. Thus, Vila Rusalka, Kashili, who is this? And Tinder, are all referred to as fairies, although they are all distinct types of spirits. So y'all might have to look those up, or we might have to get into those all individually. The word fairy is related to fate. Birth fairies, those spirits who arrive shortly after a birth to announce a baby's fortune or future. They may be true fairies. This is more obvious in Italian. What? In Italian than in English. The word fairy in Italian is fate or fata. So, I don't know how many of you are familiar, because again, it's talking about it when a baby is born. Shortly after a child's birth is announced, that fairy would be there to announce the baby's future or their fate. In Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty, and y'all probably don't remember this, but you can go back and watch. It's in the beginning of the movie. The three fairies, remember there's the three fairies. There's one that is blue, one is green, and one is pink. And when Snow White, or I'm sorry, Sleeping Beauty, when she's born, is it Sleeping Beauty? Yeah, Sleeping Beauty. They, pronounce her future. They grant her something, and then that's when the evil queen, evil, she's like another fairy, but she pronounced something evil on her, was saying on her 21st birthday that she would prick her finger on the needle of a spindle, and they got rid of all of those, you know. So that's basically what this is saying, that they kind of do. Fata Fata Morgana is literally fairy Morgana. For many people, fairy means the Sudhi of Ireland and the Scottish Highlands. The word is commonly used in Ireland as the English translation for Sudhi. When people describe green as a fairy color, for instance, they are referring to the preferences of the Sudhi. Balkan and Slavic fairies tend to prefer white. Shamanic healers and herbalists who work with Sudhi are known as fairy doctors. The old shamanic tradition of venerating and working with Sudhi is the fairy faith. Okay, so animals that coincide with fairy would be frogs, toads, dragonflies, butterflies, horses, cattle, deer, and foxes. They are among the creatures most identified with fairies. The plants would be wildflowers in general. Okay, so plants traditionally associated with fairies would be blackthorn or sloe, bluebells, brambles, briar roses and dog roses, crocuses, especially saffron, ferns. And if you guys have ever seen the movie Fern Gully, that was all about the fairies, okay? Ferns, foxglove, hawthorn, heartsease, hollyhocks, lavender, morning glories, mushrooms, especially, what is that? Amanita muscaria, pansies, poppies. Y'all know if y'all know where Coke comes from, poppies. Okay, so primrose. Allegedly, primrose serves as keys to fairyland, and for females, if you ever take primrose, evening primrose, if you are having, this is so off topic, but if you are having hormonal issues where you're hormonally imbalanced, like you have a lot of bumps on your face because you're just breaking out from acne and on your body and stuff, take primrose. One, you can get a bottle of 90 capsules, get the veggie caps, and one a day, I would suggest, and it will help to balance out your hormones and clear up the acne. I say that because I know. All right. And you only need one a day. You can get a bottle of 90 in it for a pretty decent price. Ragweed, aka fairy's horse, and rosemary. Those are all of the plants that they're basically associated with. So as far as time, fairies favor nocturnal hours and threshold times. For instance, the twilight and the dawn. That would generally be the time that they'd be around. Because, again, when you think about the time that they would kind of be seen or have been known to be seen would be in those time periods, like at dusk and dawn, pretty much when the sun is, the you know what I mean, the twilight hours, okay? Sacred dates for fairies. Fairies are particularly active from May Eve, Beltane, Walpurgis, until a last annual fling at Halloween. And I have heard that before, that they definitely do tend to come around a lot during Halloween time. Okay. There's some other ones here that we could actually see. Allegedly, if you stand beneath an elder tree on Midsummer's Eve, you will be granted a vision of revealing fairies. Reveling, I'm sorry, revealing, of reveling fairies. Ooh, child. So that is it for fairies. And there are other fairies that we will get into, that we will see, because it has a whole list. It says see also fairy birth, fairy flowers, fairy green, fairy queens, fate, Gwilliam. There's a bunch of other ones in here. Nymph, that's a fairy. It's just got other names for fairies, but we're going to get into those. But anyway, that is it. Now, like I said, some of these, it gets into who they favor. Not all of them do that. It will tell you certain offerings that they like. It will tell for some of them how they manifest. It will get into their iconography, their color, if they have a certain color that they like, a day of the week, different things like that. But like I said, I'm trying to give as much information as I possibly can when it comes to dealing with spirits, because you may come across one that actually fits for you, that you know like, and that it favors you. One of the ways that you can tell also if it favors you automatically, well, I don't want to say it like that, but highly likely that it would favor you if you associate yourself with any of these things. Like if you're just like really just a nature person, if you're into these type of animals, frogs, toads, dragonflies, butterflies, horses, cattle, deer, and foxes are among the creatures most identified with the fairies, that I believe they probably spend a lot of time around or are associated with, in terms of the way that they, I won't say the way that they look, but tend to be associated with, and like just around a lot. I would say that you would stand a pretty decent chance of being able to maybe be in a good grace of a fairy. Okay. The only fairy that I know about was a tooth fairy, and I don't even know how that whole thing came about, but it might be interesting to get some information on it, like how did the whole thing with the tooth fairy come about, you know, with being left some money for a tooth or some kind of gift, for a tooth. Is I like to see what the association is with that. Maybe I'll look into that. I'm surprised it doesn't say anything about that, but again, a lot of these things are myths and they come about in different ways. So again, just be careful. Build a relationship before you go into asking for anything. I would also think that if you are into nature magic, that fairies would be some like the spirit that you would associate yourself with, or find yourself involved with. They may help you when it comes to your work that you do. But like I said, do your research. So hopefully you guys have gained some more insight when it comes to these spirits. And like I said, be careful, y'all. Be careful, okay? So thank you guys for coming to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. And if you enjoy this content and would like to continue to see content like this, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and comment. And I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, as always, be well.